Good morning. Dr. Arvind Kumar, the President of the India Water Foundation. Shri Sachin Chaturvedi ji, Director General of the RIS. Shri Shombi Sharp, UN Resident Coordinator in India. Madam Mikiko Tanaka, Director of the South and Southwest Asia Office of the UNESCAP. And esteemed guests and participants, I would like to congratulate the India Water Foundation led by Dr. Arvind Kumar for, organizing this South and Southwest Asia focused conversation on SDG 6 and when we met and we discussed this, this transversality of it. So it is really something that adds to the conversation which one keeps hearing, and really whatever we do, whether at the international level or at the national level, I think versatility and convergence and synergy, they are at the heart of it all. A stage comes when you start looking at problems not from the limited perspective of what you are experiencing, but from the point of view of the kind of world that you wish to leave behind. So I think this is a great occasion, and I was going through your entire schedule, and I'm really impressed by the people you have assembled to address and deliberate upon the issues, and many of them are present here, others will join. So, I presently work in the Ministry of Social Justice, and here also we grapple with the problem of inclusivity. What is it that, challenges us? It is the huge numbers in India of the marginalized, who continue to be marginalized, and there is a real possibility that after we hang our boots after 35 years of service, they will continue to be marginalized. The possibility and probability of the poor remaining poor is something which tugs at the heart and doesn't let you, have peace of mind, because this is something which is really unacceptable. And the task is very humongous. So today when we are focusing on water, I can share with you that I come from eastern part of the country, and though I've lived always outside, but I always had a part of my life attached to the village from where we came. And till my teens, I would go to that once a year and dive into the river and swim. But no longer the river flows. In my own life, I have seen the river. It's almost dead. It is only at the time of when you have to immerse the idol of goddess Durga that you clear the, the coverage of that green thing which kills the river, and then you immerse the idol. That is it. No boat runs in that river. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of such streams or rivers in India. In March 2000, I was the magistrate on duty when the President of US, Bill Clinton, he came and he signed an MOU with the government of Uttar Pradesh in Agra, which included, among other things, rejuvenation of rivers in UP, so technology support for that. And I remember that he said that it was not long ago that in the US of A, most of the rivers were so polluted that it was difficult to, enter those water bodies, but they have actually got the experience of reversing that process. That really inspired me. Post that, because see, in Agra, there was no drinking water. And even today, I dare say, we don't have the drinking water. What has happened is that we have moved from water pumps to integrated water supply schemes. But the sustainability of it, after about 25 years I am removed from that setting, I am not so sure. And that point was alluded to by DGRIS. The sustainability part, that story about Gurudev, Rabindranath Tagore that you recited. So, the second thing is that those of us who have the access, there is unequal access, and there is this culture of waste. Hence, what was pointed out by previous speakers about working not only at the national or the international level, but also working at the community level. So, fighting the culture of waste is very important. So, when we talk about integrating the marginalized, from our perspective, the perspective of my ministry, we talk about social inclusivity. Because India is a hierarchical, socially unequal kind of society historically. But we also have to achieve educational inclusivity. What kind of education are we imparting? Can we include some lessons on sustainable living right from the time that the human mind is introduced to the formal system of education? And the third is economic. As long as I remember that as a child when I had read Mrs. Gandhi speak at one of the some international, I was in school, that poverty is the biggest polluter. 70?
72.
Okay, so maybe I was in third standard or something, second standard. So, but I remember that and it hit me that poverty is the biggest polluter. So, I think that, to achieve these goals, we have to align the objectives and the targets as well as the policies and then the action plans with the action plans for and the policies for poverty alleviation, improved living, etc. So, everything counts. I have some data which doesn't really add much to the conversation because everybody here is an expert and I am the non-expert. But I am told that globally the energy sector withdraws nearly 10% of the total fresh water. In India, agriculture alone consumes more than 80% of the available fresh water, much of which is linked to energy-intensive irrigation practices. 80% of wastewater flows untreated into rivers and lakes. I have already alluded to that problem earlier. So, by 2030, our water demand is projected to exceed supply by 40%, and energy demand will double, driven by industrial growth, urbanization, and so on and so forth. The environment is expected to bear the brunt of unregulated exploitation, air quality decline. So, once you come to Delhi and serve in Government of India, then you realize that Government of India, why they were, our seniors used to say life is tough in Delhi. The air quality is really, really difficult over here. So, I'm also, looking at the possibilities of integrated approaches. Earlier, I was in the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and one of the things that we did was blending of fuels, so that we have some blended biofuels. And we have actually issued the standards for India, though we are far behind global leaders like Brazil. So, the blended fuels which are now available across India and because our automobile sector moves at its own pace, so bringing them together for sustainability. So these are the kind of things that are required to look after environment, which is the energy, environment, water nexus that we are talking about. Hydropower, how do we actually maximize and cut down the inefficiencies on that? Poor waste management. This is another very big area where we have to have our, so we have to work in such a way that trade-offs are minimized and synergies are maximized. So I think that is what I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion. May I just mention that I hope that this two-day conference will, today I think, Professor? Yeah, will, give us some direction, give us some momentum, impetus, and guidance as to how we can achieve the objectives of SDG 6 better and faster. And I look forward to reading the proceedings and the conclusions from this conference. Once again, I thank India Water Foundation for giving me the privilege of being here today and addressing you, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much.